Our Parsha for this week is the Parsha of Chukat. We're in the book of Numbers. We're dealing with the wandering in the desert. Many very fascinating, important stories about this beginning period of the Jewish people. So what do we have? We have an encounter with the land of Edom. Now the people of Israel here are thinking that it's time to enter the land of Israel. So they're preparing. They need permission in their travels in order to go through land that belongs to others. So, of course, they could simply confront them, but that's not their desire. They want to pass through the land peaceably. So they approach Edom, which is right near the land of Israel. It'd be in the Jordanian area today. And they ask permission. They say, we'll pay for everything we use. We'll pay for the passing through your land. And we'll stay on the main road. We won't cause any problem. Edom says no. So what does the Hebrews do? They say, okay, no is no. We'll find a different route. Then they go to Sichon, another people whose land they could traverse, and they say the same exact thing. They ask permission, they offer to pay, they'll stay on the main road. However, what are we told? Israel struck him down. A war broke out between Israel and Sichon by the edge of the sword and seized the land. So they passed through by force. So the question is, what was different in the response from the Israelites? Why, to one group, they say back off, and the other one they say, no, we're going to war. Now, one suggestion that comes from the commentators is, well, one was family. Edom was a relative. Jacob's brother was Esau, remember him? So this is who Edom is. They're related. So you don't want to have war with family. Sichon, it's not relatives, we go to war. That's an interesting explanation, but I prefer the one by Rabbi Shlomo Riskin, who says the following. He says, if you look at what Sichon did, Sichon just didn't say, no, you can't pass through the land. We're told that Sichon then attacked the people of Israel. So what happened is with Edom, there was a discussion. We'd like to pass through, we'll pay. No, we're sorry, we're not going to permit that. But there was no attack. So the Israelites backed off. But with Sichon, after asking permission, before we could even respond by saying, well, okay, we'll go around you, they attacked the people of Israel. So what's the lesson? If your enemy speaks to you, respond with speech. Sit down and have a dialogue. Maybe you can avoid the confrontation or even come up with a compromise. But if your enemy sets out to attack you, to kill you, you have no choice. You have to respond with force. That's why the people of Israel went to war against Sichon. So what Rabbi Riskin says is, you will never enable the good to triumph by countenancing evil. Evil must be transformed or it must be defeated. It's a very important lesson when you enter negotiations. Think about Israel's situation. She left Gaza. She was open to economic opportunities with Gaza, open to greater access. She offered it. What was the response? The response wasn't, no, we're not interested. The response was thousands of missiles into the southern part of Israel. What happened? Israel had no choice but to respond, as they did thousands of years before with Sichon. We're trying to negotiate. We're trying to make a deal here. We're trying to come out better, both of our nations, and you attack us. The answer is no more negotiations. We respond with force. Then perhaps you're ready to sit down and talk. Look at the situation with Iran. Iran is not offering to talk. Iran is making threats against Israel, threats about anyone who suggests that she shouldn't have nuclear weapons. Think about Korea, North Korea. We talked, we negotiated, we signed deals, and they built their nuclear weapons anyway. Talk did a lot of harm because we didn't recognize the evil on the other side. So the lesson is very clear. When we go into negotiations with someone we're in confrontation with, because after all, usually you negotiate with somebody who perhaps is an enemy. You have a dispute. If you're able to talk, even if you don't agree, but you don't attack, you recognize each other's sovereignty, then you can at least avoid the confrontation of the war. But when the other side is determined to attack, the other is determined to destroy, the other is determined to do harm, to keep talking is like talking to the mirror. It's not going to accomplish anything, is what Rabbi Riskin is telling us. You have to attack back, and then perhaps go to negotiate. So we're hoping that in the Mideast, at least with the Palestinian Authority, which has quieted down terror, which has been strong in its posture in terms of speech, but has not attacked, really is seeking some type of dialogue. We have a chance, perhaps, for dialogue, at least for no violence. But with those who refuse to talk, refuse to recognize even Israel's existence, then there's no choice but to defend ourselves, and when necessarily, when attacked, to go on the offense to protect the Jewish state. It's a lesson for all sovereign nations. If we're willing to talk, there's a possibility for peace. But when no one wants to talk, when no one wants to recognize, no one wants to negotiate, unfortunately, it will deteriorate what happened to the people of Israel. They were able to avoid war with Edom. With Sichon, it wasn't possible, and a battle ensued. The people of Israel were victorious, as they would be in any confrontation in the Mideast. But let's hope that negotiation and talk will lead to some type of peaceful solution, and that both countries and both peoples can live in a time of peace. Shabbat Shalom. Have a wonderful, wonderful experience this weekend on Shabbat, and when you read this story, give a thought to Rabbi Riskin's very profound teachings.